You don't know what a renegade is. And I'm pulling out the card table here. Yeah. I hope I'm offending some of y'all sensibilities, but the only folk gonna be mad is the folk that can't play. Yeah. Bring that one on over here. Yeah. Let me have this. I wanna show you something. Come on, brother, Minister Training Cofield. Come on. I wanna show you something. Yeah, go ahead and have a seat right there. You brought some cards with you. Right. Who brings cards to church? Go ahead and deal. This is my partner right here. And we working it out. And he's doing what he needs to do. He's dealing the cards. It's just time to deal. And what's so interesting about this, you don't see the other two players, but they're here. Look at somebody, tell them, use your imagination. Stop acting like that, use your imagination. But the problem is, we play a few hands. Man, you gotta deal better than that. What in the world? Let me see. I want to show you something here, because this ain't looking too good. I got a halfway decent hand over here, y'all. I got a pretty decent hand. And sometimes when we're dealing with partnerships in life, sometimes we're not making it to where we need to be, not because of us, but we got the wrong person sitting across the table. Because I got a good hand, but because we're playing as a team, if he don't play his hand properly, it can mess up my good hand. I'm trying to go somewhere. Some of y'all gonna have to read in between the lines. Sometimes it's not so much what's wrong with you, but it's what's wrong, who's wrong for you. And if you mess around and hook up with the wrong partner, excuse me, if you hook up with the wrong partner, it can mess up the outcome of your whole game plan. Y'all ain't hear me. Look at somebody and say, choose your partners carefully. See, one of the things that God showed me, he says sometimes we choose partners, and partners in life, partners as friends, partners as connections, and partners as associates. Many times we choose them and we allow them to stay based on how long they've been around. We make and allow them to stay based on the promises that they made. Because sometimes people can make promises, and they make promises based on their hand, but when it's time to deliver, they can't deliver. I said, Lord, that's problematic. Because God began to deal with me. He says, sometimes we are loyal to a liability. And whenever you are loyal to a liability, you will keep getting set. Ain't nobody hear me. Some of y'all non-spade players don't know about this. Spades deals with when you make a certain promise on the number of books you're supposed to have at the end of the game, and then you come up short, that means you have been set. And God says, too much of your future is dependent upon people that cannot be in their hand. What do you want to see? What do you want us to see? He says, many of us will play all the way to 500. Expecting this to get better. Now, when I talked to Brother Cofield about this. I asked him about his spade playing abilities. I said, man, can you play? He said, and that's what we have done with some people. We ask them, can you be spiritual? And they're like, We ask you, can you really love the Lord and do what you're supposed to do? They're like, We ask them, can you really be faithful to me in the process? And they're like, And God said, we got too many of this, and we have forged a partnership with somebody that the best they can give us is. So, God says, you got to keep in mind that you determine the partnership. You have the power to determine the partnership. Because in 2014, God says partnerships and strategic partnerships are going to be critical. Whatever you do, scrutinize every partnership. Evaluate every alliance. Look to make sure that the person sitting across to you knows how to play their hand. I said, God, what you want us to say? He said, don't remain loyal to something that's a liability. So at some point in time, you got to put your cards down, get up from the table, and say, you know what? It's been good knowing you. But let the door hit you. Come on, LJ. So you get rid of a partner, but you bring in